Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a comic book wrap up. I read 3 comic books last month, and so I thought it would be a good idea to have a quick wrap up video where I talk about each of these really quickly and just give you my thoughts on them. The first one I'm going to talk about is Rat Queens Volume 1, Sass and Sorcery. The Rat Queens are basically a group of 4 women who are assassins for hire. And the story basically begins with the Rat Queens going on a quest, and they realize really quickly that they've been set up. So the rest of the book, they're trying to figure out who set them up and why. The highlight of this book for me was the diversity. Each of the Rat Queens are very unique in their own way. They all bring something different to the table, and they have a really great friendship. I also enjoyed a lot of the action scenes in this. I thought they were very well done. In a lot of these scenes, you can see the Rat Queens working together, which I really liked. Here's one scene where they're all kind of trying to take down one of the bad guys. Here's another scene where the Rat Queens are just kicking ass. I really enjoyed the writing in this one. There were a lot of funny moments, and all of the Rat Queens are very sassy and they just stick up for one another. I really like that the book took the time to really introduce the Rat Queens and their personalities, and I also really enjoyed how they worked together to try to figure out who set them up and what's really going on. The one issue I have with this book is the cover, and it's because the cover looks kind of like it's a children's book, or as if it's geared towards young teens, and the material in this volume is not for kids by a long shot, so I think it's kind of misleading. I wish it would have been a different type of cover, and I also think the art is misleading as well. It looks very fun and kind of innocent at times until you get to, you know, that one panel where there's a bunch of blood and violence and things like that. So that is one gripe I have about it, but the rest of the story is so good that I'm willing to look past that. I'm kind of curious to see where the series is going to go, because the mystery is essentially solved by the end of volume 1, so I don't really know where they're going to be taking the story next, but I really enjoyed this, so I think I'm going to pick up the second one really soon. The next book I have here is The Wicked and the Divine Volume 1. This book got a lot of hype, which is why I picked it up. A lot of people on BookTube seem to really love it. The premise is really interesting. Every 90 years, various gods reincarnate and come to live amongst humans for 2 years. While they're here on Earth, the majority of the gods decide to live amongst us as celebrities or pop stars, and a few gods decide to just hide and go underground. When a murder occurs and a certain god is incriminated, our main character Laura, along with a very skeptical reporter, decide to try to exonerate this god and figure out what really happened. So the rest of the story is basically figuring out who we believe, who betrayed who, and what's going to happen to this god that has been incriminated with the crime. I really enjoyed the premise. I thought it was really unique, and I also really liked how they introduced different gods from different religions and gave them personalities. I also really like that they have Laura, the main character, be this god fanatic, so you kind of see from the beginning what perspective normal humans have. The artwork is absolutely stunning. I particularly liked how it was colored. I'm going to try to show you guys a few pages where I really think they just nailed it. So that's definitely one of my favorite things about this volume is the artwork. The one thing I didn't love so much about this book was the writing. I felt that there was so much going on that it got to be confusing at times. I found the cursing to be a little excessive, and this is coming from someone who loves Pulp Fiction. I really think that in the right context, cursing can really add something to the story and to the dialogue. But when you do it too much, it starts to lose its meaning. You don't have the same impact. That's just a personal preference. I know that with comic books, cursing and things like that are to be expected. Definitely the language is usually more colorful, but that was something that took me out of the story. I just thought it was a little too over the top. especially with the skeptical reporter. Every bit of dialogue that she introduced had a curse word in it, and she talks a lot, so it got to be a little grating at times. But if you don't mind that, then I think you'll really enjoy this. I'm not sure if I'm going to be picking up the second volume, although I really want to see more of the artwork. Not sure yet. I'm just going to have to see where they plan to take this story. The last comic book I have here is Chew Volume 1. This one was my favorite of the bunch. The main character, Tony Chew, is a detective with a very special ability. He's a cebopathic, which means he gets psychic visuals whenever he eats certain things. In this world, chicken has been outlawed because of the bird flu, so it becomes a very hot item in the black market. We learn early on that the FDA runs the show instead of the FBI, and they investigate all of these crimes of illegal activity surrounding chicken, which is really hilarious once you get into the story. And that's the perfect word to describe this book. It is very funny. It has a lot of memorable characters, and it's a lot of fun to be going along with Tony as he investigates these crimes and tries to get to the bottom of who did what. Tony especially is very endearing. He's just a naive kid who has a special gift that he can't get rid of, but at the end of the day, he's just your normal guy, and he wants, you know, what everybody else wants, to have a normal life, fall in love, and just live happily. Unfortunately, it's not so simple for Tony. He gets into a lot of different weird situations, and because of his gift, there are a lot of very gross scenes in this book. If you're definitely one of those people that has issues with eating certain foods, or you just have a weak stomach, this is not for you. But if you can get past that and just enjoy it for what it is, you'll love it. I really enjoyed reading this. I thought that the twist at the end was insane. I didn't see it coming, and it kind of broke my heart a little bit because that particular character was one of my favorites. I am very interested to see what happens next for Tony and all of the shenanigans that he's probably going to get into. I thought it was a really fun read. I can't think of anything bad to say about it, and I can't wait to get to the second volume. So those are the 3 comic books that I read last month. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these and what you thought about them. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.